Hi, my name is Adriana, and today I will be doing my 6-month review of the Kobo Libra H2O. So I did an initial, I think kind of 6-week review of the Kobo Libra. I guess it would have been about 5 months ago. And I got a lot of questions on that video and a lot of comments that are really great. I tried to answer as many as I could. Some of them I didn't have a clear answer for at the time. Some of them I still don't have a clear answer for, but I just kind of wanted to give an updated version of my thoughts, having used this for about 6 months now, in all sorts of different types of reading. I've used Overdrive to get books from my local library. I've used Google Play to buy books, and I've used Kobo to buy books. So I kind of want to go through my experience with all 3 of those, as well as do some short kind of mini tutorials of how to rent a book from your library and sync it to your Libra, how to buy a book from Kobo and sync it to your Libra, and then how to buy a book from third party, be that Kindle or Google Play. I'll do my example with Google Play because that's what I've been using, and how to get that from that third party purchaser onto your Kobo. And my dog is barking, so I'm gonna take a quick break to figure out what's going on. All right, and I'm back with the dog because he doesn't even know what he was barking at. So my house might be haunted, who knows? Whatever, anyways. So I'll try to put timestamps in the description box down below for those 3 different tutorials, so you can kind of jump to that if you need to. So first thing I want to talk about in my 6-month review as far as the physical Kobo goes, is I bought this sleep cover off of Amazon. I just bought a cheap one. I didn't buy the one that's actually manufactured by Kobo, or I guess produced by Kobo. But I really like the functionality of the sleep cover, not having to press the little button that can sometimes be kind of hard to find in the dark. I mean, it's not too bad, but you know, I love the sleep cover. I love being able to just flip it open and have my stuff right there. And it has a little bit more functionality in the fact that you can kind of format it to kind of stand up on like a surface. I don't know if you can kind of see this, like, okay. Well, you can kind of have it set out. So if you're reading on an airplane or something, you can put it on the tray table, or if you're just reading with a table in front of you, you can set it there and it kind of stands up on its own, which I thought was kind of an interesting feature, something that I definitely can appreciate. So as far as the sleep cover goes, I don't think you can really go wrong. I mean, this one's like a super cheap one off of Amazon. I can link it below if you like, but I think any of them really work kind of the same. I like this one because it's pink and sparkly. So, you know, doesn't really matter which one you get. Next thing I wanted to talk about that I got a lot of questions about that I'm kind of struggling getting a secure answer on one way or another is battery life and how long this battery actually lasts. Obviously, it's going to be heavily dependent on how much you read, how often you read, whether you're reading in daylight where you don't have the light on, or whether you're reading at nighttime with the light on. So I tracked a little bit of my usage, not a whole lot, definitely not a representative sample of my reading. I've been a little slow at reading this last month, so it's probably lasted a little bit longer than I think it usually would, but I'll put up like a quick little graph of days and battery percentage. There is a little blip in there where I did charge it. And then as soon as I got it off the charger, it actually had to do an update. So I did an update after I took it off the charger, and the update actually only dropped the battery by 1%. So that's kind of nice. If you do have to update it while you're on the go and you don't have a charger, it's not going to put you back that much. Hey guys, I'm joining you in voiceover because I realized that last graph was kind of garbage and didn't actually tell you anything. So from those 4 data points in the last graph, I made this one by averaging the 2 slopes of the different sections. And from that, I was able to estimate a battery life of about 45 days. Now remember that this again, is not very statistically sound. I only used 4 data points over the course of about a month. So make of it what you will, but the 45 days does kind of feel right to me as far as the battery life I've experienced so far. But yeah, I mean, this thing, I hardly ever charge it. It can last forever. But like I said, I really only average, 15 to 20 minutes of reading a day. I am doing that at night, usually with the backlight on. Or I guess not the backlight. I've been corrected about that. It's a front light. But either way, I normally read with the light on. But this battery does last forever. I've done, 4 or 5 hour kind of reading stints on a plane, and it doesn't seem to affect it that much. I generally charge it overnight, so I haven't really tested to see how long it takes to get to a full charge. But again, if you're just kind of normal reading an hour, half hour to an hour a day, even at night with the light on, you should be able to charge it overnight, no more frequently than every 2 weeks, I would guess. So that's what I have for battery. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to really get into a good, solid, statistically significant study of the battery life. But I will say that a battery shouldn't be any sort of deterrent for you when looking at this product. One thing I did want to talk about that seems to have gotten more present the more I use the Kobo. So I don't know if this will actually pick up on camera, but I do quite a bit of annotating when I read. So here, let me just pull up. I'll pull up Percy Jackson. That's one of the books I was reading more recently. Let's see, okay, yeah, you can kind of see that's just like the normal page. Fortunately, I don't have autofocus on, so this is gonna be kind of blurry. But maybe if we put it back here, you can kind of see just a normal page. And if I actually go to annotate it, so I'm gonna highlight there, and you can see there's options. So I'm going to add note. And so that pops up the text box. It's all pretty intuitive there. So if I actually go in and say, hello world, you might, I don't know if it'll actually pick this up, but you can kind of see how some of the keys that I pressed are a little bit darker, and that will actually maintain as you move on to the next screen. So this, I don't know if it used to refresh more, if I changed a setting or something, but you will, damn, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, maybe you can kind of see. So you can kind of see like the squares in here. Whoops. Well, that refreshed it when I accidentally clicked the page. But that has become more present. That probably wasn't the best demonstration of that. And I'll see if I can try to like put in a clip where I'm trying to focus on that a little bit more to just show you. But that has become a little bit more prevalent the more I use it and the more annotations I put in. But it does refresh as soon as I go to the next page. So if that is something that bugs you, I don't know if there's any other e-ink reader out there that, has a higher refresh rate, or if you can up the refresh rate on this, if that really does bug you. But it really doesn't bug me that much. Like I said, it goes away as soon as I go to the next page. But that is something to be aware of if you are someone that likes to annotate your books and is really bugged by essentially what looks like a smudge on the screen. I mean, it doesn't stop you from being able to read it or anything, but just something to think about, I guess. So before I jump into my tutorials, I did want to kind of talk about something that might be a bit of a stretch for most people out there, but it is something that certainly fits my situation when I got this. Part of the reason I got this e-reader specifically was that Overdrive works natively on here. So I can get a book on the Overdrive app on my phone, and then I just sync it on here and it just pops up. So I am a super big fan of Overdrive, super love supporting my local library, and being able to support my favorite authors through my library. So where was I going with this? Oh, right. So I wasn't really an Overdrive user or a library member. I guess I had a library card, but I never used it before I got the e-reader. Even when I was reading off a tablet, I never used Overdrive. I just bought all of my ebooks from Google Play. So in that kind of respect, I did a little bit of kind of like a payback period calculation. As I was saying, payback period. So I didn't use Overdrive at all until I got this Kobo. So I did a little bit of calculation to figure out how much I would have spent on these books that I just rented or borrowed from the library. And since April, I have saved about $50, and I am forecasting another $30 in savings towards the end of the year. So that totals to $80. So if we do a little bit of quick maths.
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
That would be $120 a year if we're forecasting this out. I paid $180 for the Kobo, so this will actually pay itself off in about a year and a half of use for me. If you're not someone who already uses, Overdrive or borrows books from their local library, then that might be something to kind of push you towards something like this as well. I know Overdrive also will download a Kindle version of a book to your Kindle or to your Amazon device. So that's something else you can kind of keep in mind too. I mean, as far as like the Kindle Oasis versus this, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. I think this is a little bit easier to do, kind of third-party stuff with, but I believe you can still use Adobe digital editions with a Kindle. It might just require a little more finagling. I don't really know. I'm not really here to compare and contrast all of the different e-readers. This is the only one I have. This is the one I use. I'm just telling you about my experience with it, and my experience overall has been very, very positive. So I think that's all I have to say as far as my 6-month review of using this e-reader. I've used it, almost every single day. I love it. It's so small. It packs up so nice. But all of this is stuff I've already talked about in my other review. But I think now's a good time to just go ahead and move on to the tutorials. So I will start with the Overdrive tutorial because that's the one I try to use the most often. Because, like I said, I like supporting my local library, and it's free. Well, not free. It's paid for by my taxes. So you're already paying for it, so you might as well use it. So I will put up my phone screen somewhere, or I'll make myself small so you can see my phone screen. So I will start by opening up the Overdrive app. And this is the screen that shows all of the libraries that you have a library card for. I just have one, so I will click on that one, and it opens up to your library's homepage. So to find an available book, I like to go to collections and then newly added ebooks, kind of scroll through, see what looks interesting. Dolly Parton, love Dolly, who doesn't? So you can save it or you can borrow it. So we'll just, I guess as an example, I don't know if all libraries offer this, but you can order it up to 3 weeks in increments of weeks. So 7 days, borrow. And now it's in, that's notifications. Now it's one of my loans. I also have quite a few books on hold. as far as books I want to read soon, and I'm just waiting for them to become available. So, like I said, that's on here. So now I can open up my Kobo, and it automatically opens up to, you know, my home screen. So here you can see, let's see, all of the books I have. So Dolly Parton is not on this list yet. So to do that, all you gotta do is press the sync button, which is just the little circly arrow, guys. Let's see if I can do this in the monitor. Nope. Okay, so you just gotta press that circle button, and then it'll ask you, do you want to sync now? It'll affect your downloads. Hopefully this writes itself so you can actually read what this says. So sync now, and it's syncing along.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so now Dolly's on here, and then you can click on it, read it, do the whole thing. Super great. Ooh, that's actually a really nice cover on here. That looks really good in black and white. Not all of them look that good. So yeah, then you can read it like you normally would any other book. And then when you're ready to return it, you can either return it in the app, or you can also return it on here. You can also browse Overdrive on here, but I found it's a lot easier on my phone. So you just click on the three little dots to the left of, to the right. Rights and lefts, very hard. So you just click the three little dots to the right. It comes up with this menu, and then you can return and return. And then it's off. Back to the ether. So, I don't know, it's kind of nice. Nice feature to have, to be able to, you know, get books so easily and not have to go through the whole digital editions thing, which I will show you in a little bit. But it's, so getting books off Kobo for me is actually a very similar thing. So Kobo has an app, and you know, I'm not actually even going to record this one because it's basically the same thing as Overdrive. You use the app to search whatever book you want. You know, you pick which one you want, you buy it, it recognizes that you got it, you sync it, and it shows up. You just don't have to return it because you bought it and you own it. So I think the next thing we'll get into is digital editions, which is just a super fun time. All right, so now I am joining you from my very messy desk / home office to show you how to bring a third-party book onto your Kobo. So starting with, like I said, you need desktop, laptop, anything that you can actually download Adobe digital editions on. It's a free software, so you don't have to worry about that. Next thing you need to do is take your handy dandy Kobo and plug it into your computer via USB with one of these bad boys, a micro USB cord. Good luck finding one that works, because I seem to struggle with that every time I need to do this, because all of my cords are like a million years old. So I don't know if you can see that from here, but it does come up with a window that asks if you would like to connect to the computer or cancel. So you just click connect, and then it should say connecting and charging. So you just need to open up Adobe Digital Editions. Like I said, you just search for the download online and it should pop right up, and it's free and pretty easy. Okay, so when you pull it up, if you hadn't downloaded it before, it'll just be empty. These are all the books that I have personally put on here. So you can see Thunderhead, which I recently reviewed. I got a couple Harry Potters. I got this Gods and Robots. So the next thing, once you have this open, you'll need to do is to go to wherever you purchased it from, whether that be Kindle or Google Books or any sort of third-party purveyor of ebooks. So like I said, I use Google Play. Got all these books in my library in Google Play. So I think I want to add Galatea because I haven't added it yet or read it yet, and it's pretty small, so it shouldn't take too long. So what you'll do is you'll download the EPUB file. So there she is. And then open up, and you're going to File, Add to Library. I didn't save it anywhere special, I just kept it in my downloads. So I guess if you're downloading the EPUB file, you're going to want to put it on this Adobe Content Server message. If you're looking for a PDF, then you can do the ebooks. So put Galatea on there, open that up. So it pops up with the book itself, all that good stuff. Back to the library. All right, so as per usual, I struggled through like 7 different chords to find one that actually works. So if your computer doesn't recognize the Kobo right off the bat, then you need to probably go look for a different chord that can actually do data transfer. Because I was trying all these chords that would just charge it and didn't actually do any data transfer, so my computer wasn't recognizing it. But now you should see over on the left here that Kobo is now one of my devices. There's a lot of great kind of walkthroughs online of how to get your Kobo to be one of your recognized devices in Adobe Digital Editions, so that's not hard. And then I think you just, nope. Click and drag. Yep, there we go. Click and drag from the bookshelf onto your e-reader. Let that download. And then you just got to eject it. So yeah, pretty easy. So as before, if you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer what I can. I'm not an expert. Like I said, this is the only e-reader I've had as far as comparison goes. I really can't do any sort of direct comparison. I can do my best to kind of guess at what other things are like. But as I've said, I'm really, really happy with this Kobo. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really, really good purchase for me. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks.